Mama June, Lauryn Leaving isn't ready to see Anna's cremains too soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Mama June and her family have been trying hard to move on from the loss of Anna Cardwell in the latest episode. The former and her daughters have been grieving the loss of their beloved family member. Pumpkin has been pretty disturbed since the big tragedy. She has not been ready to face the reality that her sister has gone. We TV fans have been witnessing the dull moments of the family as they all are trying to pick up the pieces after the big loss. Pumpkin was seen lying in bed while grieving her sister's loss in the latest episode. Fortunately, she has a loving husband and kids to look after her. But it seems that Lauryn is still not ready to see her late sister Anna's cremains. Recently, she refused to visit June's home to avoid getting back into the funk of grief. Mama June. Pumpkin is afraid to return to her funk of grief after watching Anna's cremains. Mama June star Lauryn Leaving has become quite emotional since Anna's funeral. She wasn't ready to believe that her sister had finally gone. The reality TV star looked sad and depressed in the latest episode. Recently, June called Pumpkin and Jessica to share important information in the latest teaser. In the clip, she informed her daughters that Anna's cremains have arrived. She stated, "Okay, so I know Alana, Honey Boo Boo Thompson, can't be with us or whatever, but Anna actually came back to us today." Pumpkin quickly chimed in on how quick the entire process had been. June went ahead to ask her daughters if they could come over to open the box. However, Lauryn wasn't ready to return to the same home where her sister took her last breath. She felt that it would be too soon for her to visit the place again and asked everyone if they could gather at their homes. Jessica agreed. "I feel like it would make everybody a little more comfortable. We're just not ready yet." Hence, the trio made a plan to meet at Pumpkin's home and wanted Anna's ex Eldridge to be there as well. As per People, Pumpkin confessed that she had still been shaken by Cardwell's passing. Moreover, she added, and then getting the call that her cremains is ready is like, what the life I know has to continue to move on. Further, the reality TV star was hoping that her sister's cremains wouldn't set her back as she just got out of that funk. Mama June. Lauryn receives sweet gesture from daughter Ella while grieving Anna. Mama June viewers are fans of Pumpkin and Josh's incredible bond with their sweet family. They are the only ones with no drama or controversy. Fans love to see the couple with their sweet family. Recently, We TV shared a new teaser of an upcoming episode. In it, Pumpkin was lying on a couch while grieving her late sister's passing. She looked sad in the clip when her daughter, Ella, approached to check on her mother. The little girl realized that her mom looked upset and asked her if she was sad and told her, "I love you." Ella quickly went to her dad and told him that her mother looked sad to her. She told the cameras that her dad could surely fix her mom's mood as he's perfect at fixing stuff. Moreover, Josh kissed his daughter and assured her that he would make sure to make her mom feel better. Stay tuned to TV season and spoilers for more tea on Lauryn's grief and other Mama June updates. The house had grown quieter since Anna's passing. There was an air of stillness that wrapped itself around the Leaving family like a heavy wool blanket, warm in memories but suffocating in grief. Lauryn Leaving, once the lightning bolt of energy in the Shannon family, now moved with measured silence, every step echoing with the weight of unspoken sorrow. Anna Chickadee Cardwell had been the glue in ways no one had realized until she was gone. Her death had shaken the family to its core. For Lauryn, it wasn't just the loss of a sister. It was the unraveling of an emotional safety net. Anna had been a constant, even through their most chaotic chapters. And now she was ashes in an urn, cremains tucked away in a velvet box, waiting for closure Lauryn wasn't ready to give. The day the cremains arrived, Lauryn couldn't bring herself to open the package. June had called to say they were on their way, her voice an uneasy blend of strength and fragility. The family had agreed Anna wanted to be cremated, a decision that had been made in the fog of hospital visits and whispered farewells. But now that the reality of it sat in a sealed white box in Lauryn's living room, the finality felt unbearable. The box was set gently on the mantel. No one spoke about it. The children asked questions, innocent and piercing, But Lauryn gave vague answers. She didn't want them to see her crumble. Inside, the thought of opening that urn, of facing the delicate ashes of someone once so full of life, made her chest tighten with panic. It felt like admitting that Anna was truly gone. Gone in the most permanent, irreversible way. She walked by the mantel a dozen times a day, eyes flickering toward the box, but never resting on it. She busied herself with the kids, with dinner, with errands. Anything to avoid the confrontation with her grief. She knew some people might not understand. To them, it was just an urn, a part of the process. But to Lauryn, it was the last piece of a person she loved more deeply than words could express. And she wasn't ready to face that piece. Not yet. Mama June had suggested a small family gathering to honor Anna. Nothing too dramatic, just a quiet moment of remembrance. But Lauryn couldn't go. Not because she didn't care. The very idea of holding that urn, of seeing it passed from one hand to the next, like a relic of what used to be, sent waves of nausea through her. It was too soon. The others grieved in their own ways. June, guilt-ridden and teetering on the edge of emotional exhaustion, had thrown herself into trying to be there for everyone else. She clutched the urn longer than anyone, as if holding Anna could somehow forgive the years they had lost. Alana, always the baby of the family, had cried in silence and locked herself in her room, clinging to old photos on her phone. But Lauryn stayed quiet. She cooked. She cleaned. She kept moving, afraid that if she stopped, the pain would swallow her whole. Nights were the worst. When the kids were asleep and the house finally settled, Lauryn would sit in the living room with the lights low. Sometimes she'd stare at the fireplace. Other times she'd curl up on the couch with a blanket pulled tightly around her shoulders, fighting back tears that insisted on coming anyway. The urn, still untouched, stood like a silent witness to her grief. It was both comfort and curse. She remembered their childhood like it was yesterday, giggling under blanket forts, whispering secrets in the dark, hiding from the chaos of their family in each other. Anna had always protected her, even when life got messy. Even when they were older and life had forced them down different paths, they remained bound by a sisterhood that had weathered more storms than most. And now Lauryn felt adrift. The storm had come again, only this time it had taken Anna with it. Every now and then, she'd receive messages from fans or distant relatives. They meant well, offering condolences and sharing memories of Anna. Some even asked about the cremains, what they looked like, whether they'd be scattered or kept. Those messages felt invasive, not because they were cruel, but because they were reminders that people were watching, waiting for Lauryn to process her grief publicly. But her pain wasn't made for an audience. It lived in the quiet moments, in the stare across the room, in the pause before opening a drawer filled with old photographs, in the way she flinched at hearing Anna's favorite song. There was pressure, unspoken but looming, to move forward, to plan a memorial, to say a few words, to bring the family together in healing. But Lauryn couldn't do it. Not yet. She hadn't even said goodbye. The urn remained closed. Sometimes she'd sit near it, the way one might sit beside a hospital bed or a headstone. She'd think of what she would say if she could. Not grand speeches, but the small, simple things. "I'd miss you. I'm angry. I don't know how to do this without you." But the words never left her lips. They stayed lodged in her chest, heavy and unfinished. She wasn't ready. The others had begun to talk about scattering some of the ashes somewhere meaningful, perhaps in a place Anna loved, a quiet trail or a sunny park. It was meant to be healing. But for Lauryn, even that felt like letting go too soon. As long as Anna remained in the urn, there was still a tangible connection, something she could hold onto, figuratively if not physically. The family tried to give her space. They didn't push. Mama June, for all her flaws and regrets, seemed to understand that grief wasn't linear. She had finally stopped calling every day to ask whether Lauryn had opened the urn yet. Even Alana had stopped asking. In some ways, Lauryn appreciated the quiet, but in others, it made her feel more alone. Weeks passed. Spring bloomed around them. The air grew warmer. The days longer. The children laughed again. The house began to hum with ordinary life. But inside Lauryn, the grief lingered like a bruise that never quite faded. She knew the day would come when she could face the urn, when she could lift the lid and feel a sense of peace instead of anguish. But that day was not today, and it might not be tomorrow either.